Yeah, this is a video I almost didn't make, right? A few months ago, I was one click away from deleting my entire channel. I'd hit a wall built out of my own failures. I had poured hours, days into creating something, only to watch it back and feel that sink blood rush realization. This is genuine horrible. It's a feeling that every single person who has ever tried to create something knows, and it's the single biggest reason most quits. But what if I told you that that feeling, that certainty, that what you're making sucks is actually the most important part of the whole process? All right. For me, it all started with Call of Duty. I grew up with this franchise. The muscle memory, the maps, the pure fun of it all was wired into my brain. So after many years away from gaming, I felt this pull to come back. Not just to play, but to create. I had this vision in my head, right? I'd fire up the game, the old skills would just flood back. And I make these incredible videos. Seems simple enough. The reality was humbling, to put it lightly. I wasn't just rusty, I was a fossil. The game had evolved, but I hadn't. The speed, the mechanics, the way players move, it was like a completely different language. And I was back in kindergarten, struggling with my ABCs while everyone else was writing novels. My kill-death ratio wasn't just bad. It was proof that I was, in fact, very, very mortal. Every single match was a brutal lesson in my own inadequacy. But the gameplay was only half the problem. The other half was the videos themselves, right? Because you have to play the game and you have to operate the videos. So, you have to be focused and being able to talk and doing multiple things at multiple times. So it is something in a skill that you have to build, right? My first few attempts were a masterclass in mediocrity. The technical quality was a joke, awful audio, choppy footage, the works. My commentary was just this nervous, rambling mess. I was so focused on not sounding stupid that I ended up sounding like a robot trying to describe what excitement feels like. I spent 8 hours editing a 10-minute video, fueled by hope, only to upload it and feel this immediate wave of shame, right? I look at other creators, even tiny ones, and their videos felt confident and purposeful. Mine just felt pathetic. There was no hook, the pacing was all over the place, and there was zero story. This is the exact moment where so many of us give up. Hold on a second. Rocco, lay down. The gap between the creator you want to be and the creator you are feels like a canyon you can never cross. You start thinking, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. And the thought of quitting, it wasn't just an idea. It felt like a relief. It was a way out from the constant frustration, right? I was at a crossroads. I could quit and save myself the embarrassment, or I could figure out what the hell I was doing wrong and fix it. I chose to fix it, not because of some heroic burst of motivation, but because I was just annoyed. I was frustrated with being bad, and I was tired of feeling helpless. So I made a different choice. I decided to embrace the grind. Now, when people say the grind, they usually just mean work hard. But it's more than that, right? The grind isn't glamorous. It's not some rocky training montage. It's the boring, repetitive, thankless work that nobody ever sees. But it's the only thing that actually builds skill. You don't get shortcuts to your dreams. You build your way there, one boring brick at a time. I used to think like, what would happen if overnight you got a video and it became viral? I used to want that so bad that you just have a video just turns viral. And all of a sudden you got 200,000 views. However, there's a problem with that. Is that if you didn't put the work in and you got the reward for not putting the work in, you're going to think that to get the reward, you don't need to put any work in. And I'm telling you, that's far from true, right? I learned this lesson in the most unexpected place. A few years ago, I got a puppy, Chop, right? We went to a boot camp and I had this vision of him becoming a super dog. Listening to every command instantly, I learned quickly that training takes time. There are no shortcuts. Greatness only comes after going through the grueling, repetitive, frustrating path of daily practice. My grind to get better at content creation had two battlefronts: the game and the videos. For Call of Duty, I stopped just playing and I started practicing. This is a huge difference, right? Playing is for fun, practicing is for improvement. I broke down the skills. I spent hours in aiming shots, just shooting bots, okay? Building that raw mechanical skill. I watched hours of pro players, not for entertainment, but for education. How did they move? How did they position themselves? What decisions were they making that I wasn't? It was all about repetition until it became second nature. You know, whether that's sticking your head out and trying to see what's going on and you get picked off by somebody, you know, a mile down the road, right? You have to do, everything has to be done in a particular method, right? For the content, the process was honestly even more painful. I forced myself to do the one thing that every creator hates. I watched my own videos over and over, and I didn't just watch. I took notes. I started a journal where after every upload, I write down one or two things that went well and a list of things I would change. This self-reflection was brutal, but it gave me clarity. I had to stop looking at my videos as a frustrated artist and start looking at them as a problem to be solved. Was the audio bad? Okay, time to get better mics, right? You see my mic here, right? Was the commentary boring? Then I needed to practice talking. Even when not recording. Was the story of the video confusing? Then I had to script it out beforehand. This process is slow, progress is small, so incremental. You feel like it's not even happening. It's the same thing when you're going through training. Sometimes the process can be slow. Sometimes it can feel like the dog isn't learning, but it's a painful process, right? But it is small, it is incremental, and sometimes you just can't see it, okay? But then one day something just clicked. It wasn't an explosion of skill, it was quiet. I finished a match and realized I had been moving with purpose, winning gunfights I would have lost a month ago. Later that week, I finished editing the video, and for the first time, I didn't cringe watching it back. It had a clear beginning, a tense middle, and a satisfying end. It told a story. It wasn't perfect, but it didn't suck. And that feeling was better than any win screen, right? Here's the thing. This story isn't really about Call of Duty or training the dog. This is why you need to keep creating. It's about the struggle that every creative person goes through. Whether you're a gamer, a writer, a musician, or an artist, the path to getting good at anything is paved with your own bad work, okay? We love to romanticize creativity as these brilliant flashes of genius. But the reality is, for most of it, is just finding a way to be okay with the process. Thank you, Rocco. That fear that your work sucks, that isn't a sign you should stop. It's a sign that you have taste. It means you can recognize good work and you're aware that your own stuff isn't there yet. That awareness is the first and most critical step. You have to be bad at something before you can get good at it. So how do you push through? You reframe your thinking. It's about a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities aren't set in stone, but can be improved with effort. Your early failures aren't a judgment on your talent. They are data. They're feedback. Every bad video is a lesson in disguise. Instead of beating yourself up, you learn to ask, what specifically is wrong here, and what is one small thing I can do to make it better next time? You have to manage your own head, acknowledge the self-doubt, but don't let it paralyze you. And remember, most people are too busy worrying about their own lives to judge you as harshly as you judge yourself, right? Most importantly, you have to know why you're doing this. Beyond views or subscribers, it has to be about your own growth. Truth is, every creator you look up to has a library of horrible early work. But the difference is they didn't stop. The smart ones don't delete that work. They use it. These old videos aren't a source of shame. They are the most valuable data they have. Right? They are a public record of their progress and the lessons that got them where they are today. So, back to the big question. Do your YouTube videos secretly suck? Maybe they do right now. Mine sure did. But that isn't the end. It's the start. It's the necessary, unavoidable, and most valuable part of any creative journey. It's proof that you're in the game, that you're trying, and that you're on the path to getting better. The only real way to fail is to give up right before things start to click. So please don't quit. And whatever you do, don't delete your videos. Don't even make them private. Use them. That early work is the data that will help you build your future. Your future self. The one making things you're incredibly proud of will thank you for it. If you've ever felt this way about your own work, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below and tell me about the one thing you're grinding to improve right now. Let's share the struggle and the progress. And if this video hit home for you, consider subscribing for more real talk about the messy, frustrating, and amazing part of creating. Keep going. Let's see what's going on with this, guys. Just stick with me. They want to stop us. They want to stop us, guys. Okay. If you've ever felt this way about your own work, guys, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below and tell me about the one thing you're grinding to improve right now. Let's share the struggle and the progress. If this video hit home for you, consider subscribing for more real talk about the messy, frustrating, and amazing process of creating. Keep going. Even when your camera falls, keep going. We got it.